Michael MacCauley is a former New York Police Department officer who now works as an insurance agent. He lives in New York City with his wife Karen and their son Danny. Every day, Michael takes the same train from Tarrytown to Grand Central Terminal. Over the years, this commute has become a predictable part of his routine. One day, Michael is suddenly fired from his job. He is shocked and worried because his family depends on his income. He does not know how to tell his wife about the situation. Feeling stressed, he meets his old New York Police Department colleague Murphy at a bar. They talk for a while, and Murphy tries to cheer him up. Afterward, Michael boards the train home as usual. While on the train, Michael meets a woman named Joanna. She sits near him and starts a conversation. Joanna asks him a strange question. She wants to know if Michael would do one small task for a large sum of money. She calls it a hypothetical situation. Joanna explains that there is a man on the train who has something valuable that does not belong to him. Joanna asks Michael to find this person, who goes by the alias Prin. If Michael agrees to help, she tells him he will find $25,000 hidden in the train's toilet. She promises to pay him another $75,000 after he completes the task. At first, Michael is confused and unsure if Joanna is serious. Before he can ask more questions, Joanna gets off the train. Michael decides to check the toilet, just to see if the money is really there. When he looks, he finds the $25,000 in cash. Michael decides to leave the train with the money. However, a teenage girl stops him. She hands him an envelope with his wife's wedding ring inside. The girl warns him that this is a message from Joanna. If Michael does not do what Joanna says, his family will be in danger. Now, Michael knows that Joanna is watching him and is serious about her threats. Michael tries to call his wife to warn her, but cannot reach her. He becomes more nervous and realizes he is in a dangerous situation. He decides to secretly alert one of the passengers, Walt, who is a regular commuter like him. Michael writes a note on Walt's newspaper, asking him to call the police. However, before Walt can do anything, Michael sees him being pushed in front of a bus outside the train. Joanna calls Michael again, telling him this is what happens when he does not follow her instructions. She reminds him that she is watching everything on hidden cameras placed throughout the train. Michael now has no choice but to look for Prin. Joanna gives him instructions and tells him to search the passengers. Michael creates a distraction by telling the conductor that he noticed some suspicious activity. This causes the conductor to start random bag checks. While this is happening, Michael secretly observes the passengers. During this process, Michael notices one man acting suspiciously. The man gets up and leaves the train car quickly. Michael decides to follow him. When Michael confronts the man, they get into a fight. In the struggle, Michael plants a GPS tracker, which Joanna gave him, on the man. Thinking this man is Prin, Michael informs Joanna. Soon Michael finds the man's body in another carriage. He realizes the man was actually an FBI agent, and not Prin. Joanna scolds Michael over the phone for making a mistake. She warns him again, saying that his family is still in danger. Michael begins to understand that there is a bigger plot behind this situation. He learns that Prin is connected to the death of a city official named Enrique Mendez. Mendez's death was originally reported as a suicide, but Michael finds out it was actually a murder. Prin is a key witness who has evidence to expose the truth. Joanna and her employers want Prin eliminated to protect themselves. Michael continues searching the train. He figures out that another passenger, Oliver, is working for Joanna. Oliver admits that he was hired to kill Prin after Michael identified them. Michael and Oliver fight, and during the struggle, Michael throws Oliver out of a train window, killing him. Michael finally discovers that Prin is a 16-year-old girl named Sophia. She is carrying evidence that proves powerful people were involved in Enrique Mendez's murder. Sophia is scared and tells Michael that her cousin, Enrique, was killed by corrupt police officers. She is on the train because an FBI agent was supposed to escort her to witness protection. Joanna calls Michael again and tells him to kill Sophia. She says this is the only way to save his family. Michael refuses, even though he knows Joanna might retaliate. Joanna decides to punish him by detonating explosives on the train. The blast derails part of the train, causing it to crash. After the explosion, the train derails at a dangerous curve. Michael realizes that Joanna intended to kill everyone on the train to cover up her plan. Thinking quickly, Michael works to save the passengers. He unhooks the last train car just in time, separating it from the rest of the train before it crashes. This action prevents more deaths, but one of the conductors, Sam, is killed in the process. After the accident, the remaining passengers gather in the last carriage. Michael takes charge and instructs everyone to block the windows with wet newspapers to prevent the police from seeing inside. He knows Joanna's people might still be watching and does not want them to harm Sophia. The passengers, though scared, trust Michael and follow his instructions. Outside the train, a large police force arrives. They assume Michael is holding the passengers hostage because of the chaos. Murphy, Michael's former police partner, is sent in to negotiate with him. Murphy boards the train and tries to convince Michael to surrender. However, during their conversation, Murphy reveals something suspicious. His words and actions make Michael realize that Murphy is the rogue cop who was involved in Enrique Mendez's murder. Michael confronts Murphy about his role in the conspiracy. Murphy denies it at first, but when Michael refuses to back down, the truth comes out. Murphy admits that he and other corrupt officers killed Enrique to protect themselves. He also reveals that he has been working with Joanna and her employers to cover up the crime. Michael and Murphy get into a hand-to-hand fight inside the train. During the struggle, Michael manages to remove Murphy's electronic ID tag, which identifies him as a friendly to the police snipers outside. Without the tag, the snipers mistake Murphy for Michael. As a result, they shoot and kill Murphy, believing he is the threat. With Murphy dead, Michael explains everything to the FBI and the police. Sophia gives her testimony and provides the incriminating evidence she was carrying. This evidence exposes the corrupt officers and proves that Enrique Mendez was murdered. The FBI rescues Michael's family, who were being held hostage by Joanna's people. The passengers on the train also confirm Michael's heroism, and he is cleared of any wrongdoing. Later, Michael's former police captain admits that Murphy and the other officers were already under investigation. He offers Michael his old job back on the force. Michael, despite everything, reveals that he kept the hard drive Sophia gave him as extra evidence, ensuring that the corrupt officials cannot escape justice. In the final scene, Joanna is seen on a train returning from Chicago. She is calm and unaware of what is about to happen. Suddenly, Michael appears and confronts her. He shows her his detective badge, signaling that he is back in law enforcement. The film ends with Michael preparing to arrest Joanna, ensuring that she will finally face justice for her actions.